Hello there, everybody, HeroicLegend here. We are back playing Fire Emblem Three Houses. We are now going through exploring because we want to see what the post world has brought us. The beautiful thing about the post, there are no more items to look for. You just walk around and do stuff and talk to people. So in here we have Petra, who, looking at her model now, I like the design. This was also kind of the path she was supposed to go since it was the only one with... Did she have? Oh. That's an interesting choice. Oh, Felix!
For 5 years, I've fought for the Empire. I've cut down hordes of enemies. Now I have the same look in my eyes that the boar used to have in his. The look of a savage beast who loves nothing but destruction and violence. I hope not. You and Edelgard must not disappoint me. Mark my words.
You're right there in the background, buddy?
The future you're building had better be worth all this bloodshed.
Ah, yes.
You and Edelgard...
We now have the ability to perform advanced drills. So we can now learn from our students as well. And this is what I really love about this stage.
Edelgard is controlling the Empire. She is putting the pressure on the Kingdom in alliance. Empire and religion are at open war. It will be difficult for us at first, but corrupt nobles are many. That means the common people will rebel and be joining our side. With you, Professor, the battle tides will turn. I have certainty.
So yes, now that we have this, well, perhaps it would be best if I first got, all this. Also, that's really sad that Cyril, it did not make the time skip because of what happened.
Hello.
I did not realize that fighting him kills him. Well, would kill him.
Professor.
Ah, Shamir. First support combo.
Thanks for your help out there. Battles tend to go smoother with you around. I think you did most of the heavy lifting. It may be unwise to think this way on the battlefield, but I feel I can trust your commands without question. Not sure. I might have an idea, but never mind. I've also noticed that you've been putting me in more precarious situations lately. Almost like you know I won't question your orders.
Pshaw!
Huh. I'm glad you trust me to get the job done, but still. I knew you were doing it on purpose. You're in a very important position now that you're leader of the Imperial Army. Funny to think you used to just teach at the Officers' Academy. Your old students still call you Professor. That's no title for the commander of an army. You'll always be their professor, huh? You sure are an interesting one. My people lost the war, and I was left to wander Fodlan alone. But I guess meeting you was my prize. You look confused. Did you not know any of this? I was living in my homeland of Dagda, up until the Imperial Army destroyed it 10 years ago. But being a mercenary, I have no real allegiance. That's why I'm working here now. Don't worry, though. I don't plan to turn on you.
Alrighty, that's one down as we play Fire Emblem Nobunaga's Ambition. I should just teleport. So I believe teleporting is what helps to open up the other support combos. Didn't I have like 1, 2, 3. Hey. I only had 3? How much do you want to bet Hubert's the one waiting outside the food hall for me?
Professor?
Oh, it's Dorothea.
This may seem a bit sudden, but I want to thank you, Professor. That is, for letting me live my life the way I want. I've noticed you've been giving me fewer of those soul-revealing gazes lately. I appreciate you making an effort to not trouble yourself over who I spend my time with.
So you found me out.
Well, of course. Did you think I wouldn't notice? It's kind of sweet in its own way.
The headcanon here is that the professor's like always spying on Dorothea from a distance going, "You best not touch my student. I'll kill you. Don't you hurt her. Don't you disappoint. I'll kill you. I can do it too. I'm a mercenary. I know where to bury the body."
Professor, may I tell you a story about when I was younger?
Does it involve murder?
I was an orphan, living in the back alleys of Enbar, until one day I was overheard singing. That was when my new life began. I was suddenly a songstress in the Middle Franc Opera Company. Performers, nobility. I met so many people. But none of them ever really knew me. I was just some young, pretty girl who could sing. A spectacle to be admired. Even though everyone praised my looks and my voice, and they showered me with gifts, I knew one day I'd be old. My looks would fade, my voice would change. I wouldn't sound the same. And I started to wonder, when I did get old, what would I have left? I'd be old, alone, and back on the streets of the capital, right where I'd started. You can never be certain about what the future will bring. I never had much to begin with in life, and I worry that one day I'll be that way again. That's why I keep searching for someone who will love me. Someone unaware of the songstress, who can love a girl that used to be scared and alone on the streets of the capital. I wonder if such a strange person can even exist.
Alrighty.
Professor.
There he is.
Nice place, isn't it, Professor? Standing here, you can almost feel the goddess's absence. Discounting what dwells within you, of course. Do you think some punishment would rain down from the sky if this monastery were to be destroyed? Of course not. Even if the so-called Immaculate One came back here for revenge, that would only be a result of this war, not the work of a deity. If it is between love and hate, then I would choose the latter. The goddess failed to properly govern this world. That is why it is necessary for Lady Edelgard to become the supreme leader of Fodlan. Those with power must use it wisely. Is that not a teaching of the Church of Seros? It's absurd to preach to others what you cannot practice yourself. That is logical, but I am afraid your logic is informed by your humanity. That is not the case for inhuman creatures with lifespans well beyond our own. We must fight to preserve what makes us human. You are the one closest to the enemy. I wonder if you will be able to maintain your humanity to the end. Does that mean you know I will do what must be done? You must trust me a great deal. I've already dedicated my life to Lady Edelgard. To throw my lot in with you is inconceivable. But if I had 2 lives to give, I might devote one of them to you. Not as master and servant, but as equal partners.
I feel like that was the right answer. And despite Hubert being absolutely terrifying in that instance, it's still... I don't know. I actually kind of like it. I feel like that's the highest compliment Hubert can really pay anyone. It's very interesting. I want to tell Jamer about that.
Take that!
Oh dear.
Yes, I am in a hurry.
What are you in a hurry for, Ferdinand?
Edelgard claims victory after victory. She never stops. 5 years ago, she ascended the throne and swept away the corrupt nobles, my father included. I always thought I would be the one to unseat him. But she did it instead, with all the ease and indifference of someone cracking an egg. Now, as the head of House Eyre, I serve Edelgard. I have to accept that I am her subordinate, working beneath her to reunify Fodlan. The disparity between Edelgard and myself is obvious. She never stops moving forward, single-minded, never wavering. But where does that leave me? Here, flailing about, going nowhere, contributing nothing. But it is. That is the reality. Not once since our days at the Academy have I exceeded Edelgard's abilities. I saw her as a worthy opponent. She did not even see me as a contender. She did not even consider me at all. As the head of the noble House Eyre, I must be able to achieve results. But all my efforts have come to nothing. Results are everything. I have not shown results, so I will be stagnating here forever.
Oh dear. I can always see what the other option gives if it holds a different tree. But I don't know what to give for you guys. I feel like the bailiff I've been leading so far is very supportive. And I don't know which one is more supportive here. I feel like... Me personally, I feel like it's the journey, not the destination. And at the same time, he has achieved results. Ferdinand has been a key part of, like... I trusted the left side to him in that fight 5 years ago. I really couldn't have gone through that fight as well as I did without Ferdinand there protecting the other greens. So they didn't want to see what happens if Ladislava or Randolph had, like, died. I think you can get them as units, which would be interesting to see. It takes me back to the older days of Fire Emblem when you see people on the battlefield and be like, I wonder if I can recruit them. You see they have a face and you're like, oh, yeah, I can. But I don't pretend to understand fully what he's going through right now. Because it's basically the frustration of feeling like, you know, it's having his world come crashing down on him. And I feel like, I didn't think that was going to be an option that happened. And in the Blue Lion playthrough, I actually ended up having to kill Ferdinand, as well as Lorenz, on the Great Bridge. And it was there that everything was kind of like really... It was truly tragic for me because I did not want to take down Ferdinand. And it really did... the last conversations I had with him really did paint him as a pain character. So he was confused. He was lost and confused after his dad was dethroned. He didn't know what to do anymore. Anyway, I think that's more coddling. You have achieved results. I need to inform him that it really is the journey. Yeah, that seems the best.
I appreciate that, but it is not enough to persuade me.
I feel like his response would have been the same here.
I know that I have a massive wall to climb, and I must climb it alone. Even so, may I ask a favor? Professor, please keep an eye on my progress. I would appreciate if you were always by my side, bearing witness to my accomplishments.
Alright, I believe that's everyone for now. Do have to go around and see some things. And again, I have to make that shipping chart, which will probably happen after the episode's over. But let's actually go grab this quest right quick before we continue
No.
talking.
I need a favor.
Eloise!
Hey! Ah! At long last we meet again. I knew you were alive. I knew you could survive. And 5 years on, you arrive. We're reunited. I'm glad I kept watch for you in the downstream villages all that time. I was so devoted to finding you that I left the Knights of Seros. Now I serve no one
Huh.
other than you. I'll protect you, just as I promised Captain Gerald I would all those years ago.
I'm actually really happy. He's still here!
Greetings, Professor. Nothing to report. What's that? Do I have brothers in the church? You really are well informed. My older twin works for the Knights of Seros, but I think he's just a grunt, not a noble gatekeeper like yours truly. Unlike me, he's very devout. He left the Empire a long time ago.
What? Huh? Worst timeline!
By making an enemy of the church, disorder is running rampant among the populace. It's quieted down over these last 5 years, though. The well-being of Her Majesty is steadily improving.
That feels like a cop-out to me, I'm sorry.
Professor! Oh my, it's so good to see you. These days, so many old friends seem to be disappearing. But you're here. It's incredible to see you again after 5 years. I have a feeling your name will go down in history.
I love seeing my students all happy to see me. Because they will still be my students to me. Maybe.
I've been working here for a few years now. There are plenty of others working here too. Since the acolytes and students aren't here, it's up to us to pick up the slack.
A lot of white dots to talk to.
Hello.
The north side of the Great Bridge of Murden is in the territory of Acheron of the Alliance. He's known as the Weather Vane. He's a notoriously flippant man. A man like that doesn't have the guts to give it all for the defense of that bridge.
You are probably 1010% right.
No.
Actually, I just noticed the oranges over there.
Since the great nobles lost their standing, the regulation of the merchant houses has relaxed somewhat. You'd probably have thought that would make it easier for us to profit. But the world isn't so simple. The war has made the price of goods unstable, causing no end of hardship for the people.
Eek.
No.
Hey there. Ah, a new face. I am Randolph von Bergles. I'm the guardian of this place. Wait a moment. I'm sure I've seen you somewhere before. Ah, yes. You're Her Majesty's professor. You're alive? Oh, this is my little sister, Fleisch. She's just a rookie, but she's helping me as my assistant.
Hello. I'm Fleisch von Bergles. It's nice to meet you. I know I'm inexperienced, but I'm gonna do my best. You can count on me to look after my big brother.
I've heard you're planning to march into Alliance territory. I'll be here to guard the fort.
You and the gatekeeper. I'm looking forward to you doing well.
Hi. There were clashes with the Kingdom Army near the Western Front. But this is the first time the Alliance Army has had an honest-to-goodness fight. I hear their leader's pretty competent. But the Alliance Army is pretty tough, too.
Alright, turning to the right. Who's in here? Shamir.
What's that look on your face? Surprised to see me?
No.
I'm a mercenary. Always have been. Even when I was with the Knights of Seros. I never was too attached to Fodlan. I was considering leaving soon, but I might change my mind if you're around.
Flirt. Bernie, why are you in the corner?
Are we leaving for battle? I heard it's a long march. But it's fine. I've had plenty of time to stay inside lately, so I think it's time I run out. Yeah, I can do this. No more Bernie Bear.
That's spirit.
But, please don't put me up front, okay?
Bernadetta, you're our sniper. You're gonna be our bow knight. Who in the right mind puts a bow knight up front unless you're Ash? Speaking of which, I need to find my boy.
The last 5 years have been difficult at times. My relationship with Edelgard is rather contentious, due to the incident with my father. Nevertheless, I cannot abandon my family's duties. As Duke Ire, I must play my part in the Imperial Army. Edelgard intends to abolish the nobility, but I know I can dissuade her from doing so.
Interesting.
Within the territories of the Alliance, the Gloucester and Daphnel houses dominate the West. House Gloucester has always supported the Empire. There's not much chance of them defying us. So all that needs to be done to restore peace in the West now is to crush House Daphnel.
Okay.
Oh, Caspar.
All right, I'm ready to fight. Let's do this. Leave it to me. I can take on the whole, most of the enemy's army. I know my limits now, Professor.
He almost seems sad to have admitted that. Aw. I wonder what they'd make the church, or what they would have as a...
I was so surprised to hear that the faith of Seros was a sham, my eyes nearly popped out of my skull. But just because the church lied to us doesn't mean that the goddess isn't real. That's my take on it anyway. I'd feel very anxious with no one to pray to.
And this man describes it. Thank you.
Who, me? After the battle 5 years ago, the Imperial Army occupied Garrick
Oh
Mach.
my god. Cell phone.
The cathedral and several other buildings were destroyed, but we've done some repair work here and there, and we're using the buildings as a base of operations. As for me, well, the church moved its headquarters to Fargus, and I've seen no reason to follow. When I returned to Enbar, I received a summons from Her Majesty, and I chose to answer.
That explains her. What about you, Ash?
Since you came back, everyone's been smiling. Just you being here makes an incredible difference. I can't express how reassuring it is to see you.
I missed you too, son. This one's important. Because I don't believe I saw Marianne when fighting against Golden Deer during my Blue Lion run.
My adoptive father sent me here so our family name would be known. He doesn't care which side wins, the Empire or the Alliance. However, even if he tells me to come home, I intend to stay. I want to see this new world Edelgard dreams of.
Alright. We're almost done talking to everyone, and therefore we can end the episode soon.
Right.
It's normal for history to be revised in favor of those who hold the power. The documents in this library are no exception. It's perfectly possible for someone to have made edits to them, but it's my belief that no one has the power to blot out the truth entirely. I like to read the same texts over and over again. That way, I can spot some of the truths hidden between the lines.
I feel like that's them talking to us directly, like, hey, we know that you read everything even when doing repeat playthroughs, so good on you. You might be able to find some secret stuff hidden between the lines. Ah, Leonie.
I'm so glad to see you're all right. I really regretted not being able to keep the promise I made to my mentor. Captain Gerald told me that if anything should happen to him, then I should stick by you. I'm going to do just what he asked. I'll be right here to support you from now on. Really?
Alright. And here is where Linhardt finally is, and Hanneman.
Professor, do you know how happy I was to hear you were still alive? I'll tell you how happy. For the past 2 days, I haven't had my morning or my afternoon naps.
Morning naps?
Yes.
You finally joined us, have you? I attached myself to the Imperial Army as well. Seemed the thing to do. I feel I owe it to Edelgard to set my past feelings about the Empire aside. I am happy to help her. It's strange, isn't it? After 5 years, the 3 professors are together once more. I am most curious, though. You say you were asleep for 5 whole years. Incredible.
Yeah, I got this crick in my neck, but I think it solved itself during, like, the halfway point.
Perhaps this is another effect of your crest. I do look forward to investigating you in greater detail.
Oh, Lord.
Wonderful news. I am most excited to begin. We must find the time, of course.
You know what that means, right? Legit. Linhardt and Hanneman can together, like, oof.
Professor, I'm sorry to have dragged you into the fight again so soon after our reunion, but you appeared at a most opportune time. I'm truly humbled by your support, my teacher. Thank you. And so I will. I'm hoping your abilities from 5 years prior are still intact. Make sure you're ready to head out, okay?
I should have said the other thing.
Allow me to brief you on the details of our situation. The Empire firmly controls the western portion of Fargus. However, the central and eastern regions continue to put up heavy resistance. The strongholds in these regions are Aryan Road, the fortress city, and Ferdiad, the kingdom capital. We cannot control Fargus until we have taken both of these cities. As for the Alliance, Houses Gloucester and Ordelia seem predisposed to capitulate to us. However, due to interference from Houses Regan and Goneril, we have yet to secure their cooperation. Claude obviously hopes to keep the Alliance whole through diplomacy, but because we have had to focus our efforts against the Church until now, our forces have yet to meet his. We have only recently begun to take the fight to Alliance territory.
Alright, well,
I have a request for you.
Ah, alright. Okay, that is everyone. So I'm gonna do the rest of this stuff off screen. Oh, sorry about that. So I'm gonna do basically the dining and the stuff, everything off screen, as well as figure out the shipping charts, so to speak. So I hope you like the choices I laid out. For those of you who have direct contact with me when this episode goes up, assuming I haven't already made the charts by this point, you're free to make suggestions too. I was gonna make another fanfiction joke, but I decided against it. Besides, you've already made your fanfictions. You didn't need the get-go from me. Anyway, I want to thank you all for watching. I do hope you enjoyed the video. If you liked it, you know what to do. Much appreciate you to do. much appreciate ya if you do. And until the next video, I just want to say, laters.